Good evening and welcome to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club Network, where every Tuesday about 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, we talk about the general goings-on in the pizza news world. I am one of your hosts this evening, Jim Mumford, on location, joined by one of my fabulous co-hosts, Will Dumas. Will, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, man. I'm doing great, dude. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Traveling today, but I can't miss the pod. Certainly not for travel. Certainly not at all. How have things been going? Any pizza related activities in your life recently?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Good answer. Good
I
answer.
know. I'm reading a lot of pizza news, but I'm not doing a lot of pizza things as of lately. It doesn't feel right. Something feels amiss, you know?
Yeah. Agreed. For me, my daughter turns 8 in a couple weeks, and she wants to have a pizza party. So I bought like these 7-inch personal pizza pans, and then
Ooh.
all the kids are gonna make it. So I did some test runs in those. It works. They're nice, but they're perforated at the bottom.
Okay.
So the dough has to be a little more lower hydration, which is fine for little hands, anyways. So
Makes
it's
sense.
more
Makes
it's
sense.
more fun than function. But yeah, we're gonna see if I can cook 16 pizzas at once, which would be a new personal record, I think.
Ooh,
Yeah.
16. Damn, dude.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna crank it, man. We are just gonna be a regular Pizza Hut. But did some test runs, turned out good. So showtime's in a couple weeks. Can't miss it.
Dude, I'm looking forward to this. All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
You know,
picture's gonna be great.
yours is gonna be better, as I think back, Jim. I had a pizza experience. I was just recently in Boston, and I had a bar pie that unfortunately wasn't even mentionable, so I didn't, and I'm really hoping you better luck in your endeavors of making 16 pizzas
Thank you.
altogether.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny because we have a group chat with Anna and Michael, and yeah, any of us make pizza, we share it. It's the simple fact you have our pie, didn't even share it is
Yeah,
mm, yikes.
I'm with you, and I'm not
Wow.
afraid to share things in there, so it's,
No, good,
you know
bad, and ugly. So it must have been. I mean, we've shared. Did we share like what was share the frozen pie and the ghost pie the other day,
the
which
ghost
was
pizza from
awesome.
Aldi, the ghost
Yeah.
pizza from Aldi with a little tomato smile and 2
Just
cut black olives for eyes. It was an interesting pie, and
it was a take.
it was a cheesy flat bread sort of thing.
Sort of thing, which for a ghost pie from Aldi, a cheesy flatbread sort of thing, I think is the ceiling. So
All right, well, listen,
it's
dude,
good.
let's get into it and
Yeah.
start, if that makes sense
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
note.
Let's go. Where you want to go first? You're driving tonight since I'm away from home.
Yeah, totally, dude.
I
Let's
love it.
talk about this guy. This is an article by who's this? WIFR talking about Little Caesars opens first self-service restaurant in Rockford. This seems cool. I feel like I'm seeing all these like checkout counters kind of all over the place. The like you scan yourself version. This looks like quick serve gas station type checkout kind of thing now that we're seeing nowadays for this one, right? But essentially, restaurant gives you the opportunity to order in advance, order online, go into kind of like a pickup zone to grab your hot and ready pie. This seems interesting to me. Talk to me about this layout, floor plan, thoughts on this to start, Jim. You take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, right? We've talked about all these autonomous pizza things, right? The Donatos in Columbus, the robot, and all the vending machines. And I don't know, this makes sense, right? You grab it from the hot section, you grab what you want, you scan in, out, right? I mean, it is the definition of hot and ready. And of course, it's Little Caesars, but I think it makes sense, right? I mean, that looks like you got your hot area, you got your drinks, you grab it, you go, you scan it. I mean, it's a millennial's dream, right? You don't even have to talk to anybody. You're in and out.
I don't think there's anything else to like note than that. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
it, dude. Like everything you need is available here. The one thing I thought that was interesting though is I was expecting to see. I don't know if you've seen any of these in the Caesars where it's like your own kind of individual checkout box. You know what I mean? It's like you are box number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are like
Like an
separated.
Amazon locker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this looks all like it's unlocked. And I just thought that might have been interesting for like the order online.
Yeah, I can't tell if they're individual lockers, maybe are in the middle, but yeah, I mean, my worst nightmare is someone grabs my order, but it's also Little
Exactly.
Caesars, right?
I'd be
So, I
like, "What
mean,
happened?"
yeah, right, exactly. But I don't know, for the hot and ready of it, I think it's brilliant, right? I
For
mean,
the hot and
but
ready,
yeah,
I'm with you.
yeah,
Like, you just backfill this bad boy with pies and keep sending him out, right?
loading them, right? I mean, it is a an industrial engineer's dream. But you're right. I would want my personal locker. If I customize my pie, if I'm paying premium prices, right, and someone takes my how does that go? Or do you need a code, or is someone watching? I
Right,
don't
right,
know.
right. Exactly, exactly. I feel like there
But
would be no one watching, right? That's the whole purpose. We don't want anybody to
oh,
watch anything here. We just want to like
we
swipe in, get my pie, and
swipe in
that's
and
it.
out. Oh, I like it. I can see like college towns, college
Yes.
uni or something. Like this is kind of brilliant. And we keep seeing more autonomy in the pizza delivery. So it makes sense. And like I say, I love it, and I love it for Little Caesars.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. You know, Jim, who also really loved Little Caesars, as you can imagine. Well, there was a Florida woman, and there was one thing about her is she needed her hot and ready as fast as possible. So, Florida woman arrested after speeding at 107 miles per hour trying to reach Little Caesars before closing, deputies say. Now, Jim, I know we all need a hot and ready, but this is definitely a different definition of needing.
You know where I found this one? I chuckle because the Florida pizza stories never disappoint. And seven is cooking, no pun intended. I'm just Was there no other pizza in a radius where you had to hit this one? Right?
So to be honest, man, I didn't know Little Caesars closes at midnight, and this was at 11:52. She got pulled over. I didn't see the exact proximity. She still was away from the Little Caesars. Was she going to get there in the 8 minutes? Well, I don't know. There had to be another option, man. Right? Like, I'm with you here. Like, come on.
Listen, love the dedication, right? Sometimes you need your hot and right, a little bit of foresight. 107 though, man, that's cooking, right? That's
Well, that's
moving.
aggressive.
That's aggressive. I've done some aggressive things for pizza, but low grade felonies, not that I'll admit on a live podcast, anyways. Now, but
I've
if they
never
had that
needed.
self service, maybe she would have been fine, right?
I
So
agree. You know, maybe they would have left it open for her. You know what I mean? She could have just grabbed someone else's pizza out of there, perhaps. Whatever. She didn't need to get there in that amount of time.
I also love that how this became a news story. Not that it just
Yes,
happened. Each got arrested, but somehow it got picked up. That she used the excuse, and that got picked up. The whole life cycle here is just beautiful.
that's the part that is always of interest because it's not like, I mean, it's not like it didn't seem, at least from the article, there was like some sort of like spectacle that occurred on the scene or something. It's just that like you got pulled over, here it was, and it was because of this, which would be completely meaningless if I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what else I had to do, right, to get home to get anything. You would never hear about this. But how does this one get out there? How does this Florida? How are you leaking these gems like this?
It is a gem, and wouldn't you? I don't condone lying to law enforcement. Wouldn't you come up with something better than Little Caesars closes in 8 minutes, right?
Sometimes honesty is the best policy, and
Times it gets you talked about on a podcast. So who am I a judge?
30 seconds of fame could be it. I guess, man, whatever.
What what's
Interesting.
what's the what's the stupidest thing you've done for pizza that you'll admit on a live podcast?
Man, not that bad, man. I've got a good tale from being at my neighbor's house and cooking pizza, which was over a solo stove
I remember these pictures.
on a pizza, like on a pizza peel that I was holding above it when trying to create a top with some other metal vessel to get down heat. That was a unique situation. I probably didn't need that pizza at that moment, as you could
Yeah.
imagine.
Well, I props to you. I mean, hey, you may happen, right? It may happen with fire. I mean, and you didn't commit any felonies doing it.
What about you?
I've gotten frustrated with my day and dropped everything in Western Michigan and driven to Chicago for pizza more than once. Well, I'll admit that, and that's fine. That's just something that happens in a
Sounds
man's
great.
life. Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, it happened. I definitely took the proper PTO for anyone who was watching, and I definitely didn't just rage quit on a day and go get pizza. But that has happened in my life more than once. I can say that with all honesty. No
I'm okay with
felonies, but
this.
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Dude, I'm okay with
Yeah.
this, Jim. I like it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Will endorsed.
All right, well, listen, I was gonna transition us and say, hey, listen, Florida women probably should have just stayed at home. Definitely made one of these French bread pizzas as a starting point. French bread pizza, this one from AOL, the absolute best French bread pizza is loaded with toppings. Jim, we'll start there in general. Do you have a love for French bread pizza?
Big fan. Make it all the time. Make it for the kids, right? It's the best after school snack on the planet, right? I mean, what's your take?
Agreed.
Fan?
No. This was like the premier, like snow day, go to your friend's house
Yeah.
type item that their parent made you for lunch.
You
This
were
was the
in.
jam. I'm not gonna lie though, I was not a like deluxe version.
No,
And to be honest, I didn't know this was like the jam to go with the deluxe. I lived in the world of like Stouffer's pepperoni
yeah,
only was like
yes,
my go-to.
yeah. With the little chunkies of pepperoni, right? Not the
Yes.
yeah, right.
Which is the pepperoni we've been telling people that they have to get, they have to make. Somehow we have to find these little chunky pepperonis
Chunks. Oh,
we need to
so
bring these
good.
back to pizzerias everywhere, period.
Right. Period. But
You know, something about the deluxe component to this just throws me off. This one from AOL, this is what shocked me too, Jim, to be completely honest, as I was kind of perusing through the AOL, the ranking of 8 other frozen French bread pizzas stood out to me. I actually didn't know there was like 8 other producers of like French bread pizzas, to
to
be
name
completely
one,
honest. That was news to
yeah.
me. Not even, it was in the article within the article to go through. But can you make French bread pizza at home, or do you just need to buy it frozen? Like, is this one you can make a
Yeah.
better version of this, or is this the epitome of French bread pizza is Stouffer's?
Obviously, you can, right? You can make an bagel in English farm. You nailed it, right? There's that nostalgia, there's that perfect, there's that convenience, right? That's that kind of like burnt and charred, and kind of that dichotomy of excellence. I've made French bread pizza from scratch. I've made the Stouffer's. It has to be Stouffer's for some reason. It just hits. And again, it's the convenience of it. It's the whole journey. Can you make it home? Yes. Is there a recipe in my book for French bread pizza? There's not, because I tip my cap to the excellence, and Stouffer's is excellence. But it can't be the deluxe, right? I mean, that is an open faced sandwich, which you just showed. That's not French bread pizza.
I agree. And so the deluxe here, just in general, 100% real mozzarella. I love when we quote the like authenticity of the cheese. You know what I mean? Where someone's not like
You're
99% real mozzarella, right?
yeah,
So 100%
real
real
adjacent.
mozzarella, crumbled Italian sausage, pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, and green and red bell peppers, to bring that all together. They quote here, working together in tandem, all of these elements create a harmonious symphony that didn't seem like it came from the freezer. I kind of feel like I want this to come from the freezer, and I'm okay with
Yeah,
it. I know that is too many things on this pizza. I'm getting annoyed at this article.
again, it hits a certain point, right? That is a sandwich, right? I can't describe it as like California pizza, right? You know
Yeah,
it when you
no,
see
I'm
it.
gonna
That is a
reshare it.
sandwich.
I'm gonna reshare it for you because when I look at this doesn't. I feel like we didn't even take a picture of the right.
Yeah, yeah. That I thought those were meatballs in there, honestly.
I thought
Like,
this was a meatball sub.
right? Honestly, truly, right? But no, it needs to have 98% real cheese. It needs to have pepperoni cubes. You need to cover it in red pepper flake and Parmesan from the green bottle, right? And that is the snack, right? That is it. Don't mess with it. 'Cause yeah, I honestly thought that was an open faced meatball sub.
I don't.
Delicious, but not French bread pizza.
Man, it does look like it's because the cheese is on top of the toppings afterwards, and like
Exactly.
this would never happen in a frozen product. Like, this is killing me, man. Sometimes these photos are just like, where did this photo come from?
Is that a stock photo they
It's a
use to kind of make it
Shutterstock
close?
photo, but I'm
So there
assuming
it is. Well, either way, I think we're aligned. French bread pizza good, Stouffer's best, but simplicity is king.
fair. All right. Well, listen, let's take a look at maybe a little bit more beautiful looking of a pie. I'll say that. And so this one was out of BK Mag in Brooklyn. The restaurant's Ilion. I wasn't familiar with this, to be completely honest. But to be completely honest, Jim, I never thought I needed a lobster pie. To me, it's one of those things where it's like, I love pizza. I also love lobster. Who doesn't? Like, I mean, listen, if you like
Yeah, who doesn't?
shellfish, right? Like, you're going to be completely fine if someone offered you a lobster, right? But I didn't need them together because I'm just like, this seems ridiculous to me. Like, in general, like, I wouldn't be like at home trying to like recreate that one. I don't do a lot of it. But when I looked at this pie, I was like, I. I don't know what to say besides I need this in my life. This is absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, comments, right? So obviously they know what they're doing with the char, the everything, but this is not a cheese first pie. This is a crust and lobster first pie, right?
Yeah.
And it looks stunning. Again, not something. This is California style to the max, by the way. I don't care where this is.
I knew
This
you were
is
going to
right.
say something
But
like that.
it is. I mean, it is just the vibe of it. It just is. But I am with you that I would never. I would always think a lobster pie would be like cream based, right? Kind of like do like a beets with the clams. That
Yeah.
would be my analog. But I
Yep.
would
Yep.
never just go hard tomato. But they did, and that looks
Yeah.
fire. But
So the inspiration for this pie, right, in general, was I believe it's kind of so I think he came from Maine, right? Best Pie Ben Wexler Waits, excellent import from Maine. But I think the inspiration was eating like lobster pastas from Amalfi. And like I can totally appreciate that from just like staring at this of how this came to be. But that's kind of what it reminds me of. It looks like a so I don't want to do this disservice and think like a thick like red sauce with a pasta, but like that's what it strikes me as. You know what I mean? But like rich, good, like I would be all for it. This feels like one where like you're taking the shellfish out, your fingers are getting dirty, you're eating it, you probably put the bib on, kind of vibe.
you're
It just looks so
yeah.
good.
Agreed. I think you're messy afterwards, right? This is one where you have the fork and knife and you just throw it
Yes.
away and just go to town, right? One thing they mentioned, I worry about it being wet, but it's not,
Yeah.
right? That's the style and it's floppy and it's again, right? It's a lobster tomato pasta sauce on pie. It's fine line, right? I mean, you could, I wouldn't eat it from a Little Caesars vending machine, no offense, right? But if nailed, I mean, the flavors play, and that char, I think, is going to do a lot of heavy lifting too. So I'm here for it. I never would have thought I'd need it, but you absolutely correct. That looks awesome.
Right. And so, I mean, they describe it right as the crust is tangy, salty, floppy in the middle, never too wet though, and charred
Same.
to hell on the edges. Let me bring this back for 1 second. I want you to speak to this around the kind of like edge here of doing this. Cause like this seems to me of like what would make kind of like all the difference in that is going for this texture where like you do have this like, I mean, this is not just like, this is charred. Like this is
It's charred.
bubbly but in the best way. Like this, I would be delicious. This
Yeah,
crust, just in general.
and done on purpose, right? And that's why I put the a beets kind of because the beets has a charred crust, though much more thin. But that
Yes.
char is a flavor, right? And you do that with the seafood to be the contrast and kind of be a foil, right? To kind of break through all the richness. So done very intentionally, of
Yeah.
course, and very difficult to do, by the way. I mean, you have to have not only the
That's what I
perfect
wanted you to
dough, you have
speak
to get
to.
the perfect olive oil, right? You have the perfect temperature, so because it's only the bubbles char.
Yes.
That is so difficult. My buddy Augie, out in California, does one similar. He tried to explain it's so hard. You need the wood fired, and then to have a seafood on it, right? Which has about a
Yeah.
narrow band of cooking about this large. I
Yes.
mean, it is you're threading the needle on a lot of things, but if you're gonna do it, clearly they're doing it right. So I'm here for it.
Am I oiling this crust like before it goes in? Am I oiling it afterwards? Am I not oiling it? Is it direction of this? What am I doing for this?
Oil right before it goes in, right? That helps. So when those micro blisters form, that oil burns, right? Those char is not really the crust, it's actually the oil burning with the crust charring. But that's how you get those micro blisters, but just on the bubbles, right? So yeah, it's heavy olive oil, right before it goes in. It's difficult. If you get any olive oil on the peel, it becomes glue and it doesn't launch. I've done that many times and accidentally made calzones. So it very very hard, right? There's a lot of technique in that pie. Obviously wood fired again, flavor, right? Smoke. There's a lot of nuance, more than just lobster on that bad boy, and some of the other like that margarita. Those are top tier pies.
They're beautiful. And listen, no, there's nothing to be sad about for a calzone. You guys ever run into Michael Fox? You can ask him. He's a calzone specialist, our producer here, of making the oven ready calzone pizza flop, and you turn it into something beautiful. All right. Well, listen,
That's good,
talking about something beautiful.
Michael. Yeah,
I didn't know I was going to put these together, but I am, just because they look that darn good to me, to be completely honest, man. This one out of the Wall Street Journal by Jennifer Williams. Domino's invests in rebrand and stuffed crust pizza to keep diners coming. The pizza chain rolled out its first rebrand in years as it aims to keep selling pizzas to cost-conscious consumers. I just want to point out this box and get your initial impression for this, as well as this new vibe on these boxes, man. Like, I'm into this, dude. I dig it.
it's clean, right? Blue,
Yeah,
red, one, two, right? It's very very hip, very modern, but yet this is decades of brand recognition because you see that you know
absolutely.
exactly what that is, right? No question about it. And that's cool, right? And good for them to understand that what their brand is and how strong it is. But the bold color and then with the gold like premium, right? Because
That
there
one stands
is
out to me. That is
it
that.
does. And good for them saying, hey, there's the cheese and pep to get through the day. And then there's that premium buffalo chicken, whatever, right? There's a difference. And kind of tiering yourself in the market is really hard to do, right? From a marketing perspective. And yet, of course, Domino's is gonna nail that, right? I mean, do you agree with me that that's kind of cool?
I am with you, but I think it speaks to the point you're describing, brand recognition. Like, if you did not have the presence that you had, the two little dots in the color are going to be completely meaningless, right? Like, this is distinctly, what this box is from being far away. It just looks so good. I'm like obsessed. I'm gonna order some Domino's surely to get the box, and because I want to like check it out because I think it's that cool looking.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Like, I want to show this to my 7-year-old, right? And see if she recognizes, and she will, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a cool thing. I'm gonna encourage my family to get Domino's while I'm away this week, just because I want to see the box, right?
I would know too as well. I know because they did mention in the article too about the stuffed crust pizza, which is the thing. It came out a couple months ago, but it does seem to be doing well for them in general. I think it was after March when they first rolled that out, and as we all remember, like the first ones out with that were Pizza Hut back in 1995, right when they kind of came out with
So
this.
good, crust first, and
But
yeah,
yeah, but now it is Domino's is out there offering a stuffed crust pizza, and dude, please send us pictures of your Domino's pizza boxes. I'm that
yeah.
obsessed with
Please,
them. I
this is
really
what we
want to
want.
see
This is the
these.
content we want. What I also want to know, right? So, stuffed crust pizza, if you're making it in store and it's not frozen and coming to you, that is very technically hard and that is very time consuming. So I am curious if on those, if they are coming in pre-made, because I know Pizza Hut does, right?
Ooh.
They're coming frozen.
Yep.
Oh, I've tried to make stuff. They are tricky. They are tricky to make and they are time consuming. Well, I'm curious if, because Domino's, right? Credit to them, they make everything in back. They make the dough. They're flipping.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if how they kind of incorporated into that kind of their ticket time.
Okay. I'm with you
We'll
on this,
never
Jim.
know,
Oh,
but
we're gonna have to find this out. And you know what? Do you know who we could probably ask about this? And I didn't know that we needed to know. Well, it's Tom Ryan, Jim.
oh, of
Obviously,
course,
the
obviously,
one man is responsible for the McDonald's dollar menu, Pizza Hut stuffed crust, and the smash burger. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Tom Ryan. So this one
legend.
out of fortune. Jim, I didn't know about Tom, to be completely honest, until I read this. I'll give the quick background. Tom Ryan still remembers when he was hired by Pizza Hut in 1988 to be the director of the new products. Shortly after he started there, he told First We Feast he vividly remembers his company's chief operating officer walking into his office and delivering a warning that stuck with him. You're in trouble because everything there is to do with pizza has been done. What a line, and, what an
What a
interesting
line.
story to come back from then from that hard start, right?
Right. You know, it's fine. I encourage everyone to read this, but you think about reinventing pizza, which he did, right?
Yes.
With not only Pizza Hut, but with the marketing and just kind of the whole vibe, right? And the pan pizzas and
Yeah.
but you forget, right? There are people behind these things. There's real people like inventing and tinkering and in test kitchens, just spending days and days and days trying to make things not only works, but then can work broadly. It is so wildly difficult. But then one guy, right, having it's kind of like, you find out the guy who wrote like 28 number one singles, you never heard of him, right? That's kind of who this guy reminds me of, right? Is he's just nail one after another.
Man, this is cool, and Jim, I think there's an interesting part to this, right? He has a doctorate in flavor and fragrance chemistry from Michigan State University.
Go Spartans, by the way, my wife would be proud.
Ah,
Of course it's
yes.
Michigan State, yeah.
What I think is interesting, like he talks a little bit about in this article about going with creating the stuffed crust, right? He said, the whole purpose was like the real breakthrough in pizza became cheese is the most important thing that drives pizza, especially in that time frame. Like he's like cheese was the thing. Cheese, 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 more cheese, more cheese, more cheese. How do we shove more cheese on a pizza when we put
Yeah,
it
real
once, right?
cheese, right? But that's when they started advertising real cheese, 100%, and
Yeah.
that's where that started, yeah.
Dude, but he talks about this, and it's like, he's kind of looked like a tire when he first tried to do the stuffed crust pizza, and they really had to figure it out. But then it was interesting to think about, and you guys should definitely read this one in general. Talks about like how to bake a thin pizza with this like thick cheese like in the crust, and he kind of compares it to like cooking a turkey and a chicken wing at the same time as we're approaching Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
Mhm.
man, how do I cook these two different things so they both come out
Really
right,
hard.
but in this one vessel? So like there's so much creativity that kind of like went into this. And to be honest, he seems awesome. Literally kind of goes into talking about the like Mickey D's dollar menu as well, and then kind of creating Smash Burger and selling that as well. So like awesome read. Check him out. Tom Ryan. An ode to you. And I did not know who you were, but thank you for the stuffed crust along the
So a little behind the scenes. So making stuffed crust is hard, right? And you
Yeah.
basically, because you're right, you cook it too fast, all the cheese just melts or explodes, right? You cook it too little, and the rest of the crust. So you actually have to freeze the cheese on the ring to get everything to happen. That's the trick. But so that's why I'm wondering how Domino's does it, right? Do they place a
Swallow.
frozen cheese ring on and flip over? It's my guess, right? Because you're just not putting shredded mozz in there. It doesn't fly, right? It all just kind of seeps out. I remember Christy Elliott did write those,
Little pinches. Pinches? What was she calling
yeah,
them?
peel pinches, right? And
Yep.
they were so hard to make. And credit to her because the cheese was all the same temperature. So you had to like wood fire it. And I tried to make one. It was just an abomination. It was terrible, right? But so, but again, credit to him, right? Because he had to figure out, okay, it needs to be at this temperature and then widely distribute it, just part, right? I mean, just really different PhD level stuff, which is fun. Let me ask you, Will, smash burgers. Are you a thick burger guy or are you a smash burger bro? This is important.
So to me, to be honest, it depends upon my mood. I
Sure.
definitely don't want something in the middle. I am one or the other. So
Yes. Yes.
first to be as thin as one, if that's what I'm feeling, or like a big like steakhouse type burger that you're gonna get from somewhere, like I'm all for it too. Right. But it depends on the vibe, man, that you're in. But nothing in the middle. I don't want like a halfway. You tried to make a smash burger and you didn't smash it. No, 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 no. Go all in either direction.
Yeah. Fair take. Everyone has that one food they can't make. I can't make a smash burger to save my life. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just too gentle, but I always make the in-betweens. I get angry, so I don't even try anymore. Like, I go for the steakhouse, like, quarter pound, like,
Yep.
massive slider guys. I can't make smash burger. I've tried. Can think I can cook everything else in the kitchen. Can't do it. Disappointed in my own skills.
All right, that's fine.
Either
You next
called
time, next time we end up ever getting together, I'll make a pizza. You make a smash burger. Maybe we'll put them together since they probably won't be the best from either side. Then, right from that perspective.
perfect. That's perfect. And then Yeah, I love it. And then Michael can make a calzone out of it. We'll be all set.
I love it. All right, man. Well, listen, I think that's all the articles that we have for today. What's the
You know
most
what?
exciting thing you can put on your Thanksgiving pie? Please send it to us in advance. I'd love to see these.
I wrote an article a few years ago for Inside Hook, how to repurpose leftover turkey. The number one hit was you put it on a pizza and you make a buffalo turkey pizza because it's
Really?
extreme dark meat. Yes, it slaps. It's way better than chicken, way better than chicken thighs. Buffalo turkey pizza is the best way to repurpose turkey leftovers.
So, as a counter to that, I will say I often put my Thanksgiving leftovers into a completely unconventional vessel for this is Thanksgiving empanadas. And I roll everything in there together, the stuffing,
Absolutely.
sauce, gravy, put a
Yeah.
little cranberry dunk or do the gravy dunk and put the cranberry inside. Either way, whatever variation I want to go with. But that is a good jam to do, man. So I will serve
Love
that
that.
one up.
I wonder if I could do like leftover Thanksgiving like pizza puffs, right? Which is it just is
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah,
empanada.
yeah.
All right, game on. Now we're talking here. Now we got some content for next week. This is good.
All right, cool. Well, Jim, listen, man. Everyone out there can find me at Funny Will, Funny with an IE. Where can they find you? And where can they find Pizza Club?
Well, they can certainly find me, Jim Cooks Food Good, wherever you get your content. Of course, you already follow I Need Pizza Club, right? You like, have rated, subscribe, and thumbs up this podcast wherever you get your podcast. Of course, on Instagram, I Need Pizza Club. Michael churning out great content, including really fun clip from Anna and I show last week. It was good. They're doing clips now. Michael's absolute wizard. So
I love it.
yes, check out the Pizza Club at all your favorite social media stops.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, on that, we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks, everyone. See ya.